All right, good evening. It is 7:01 p.m. The Board of Trustees of LaPorte Independent School District is now convened. I wish to extend my warm welcome to everyone present. Every student's success is our number one priority. As the LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, adopt policy, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and communicate the district's vision and successes to the community. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of our superintendent. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. School board meetings are open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. Audience participation is limited to the patron presentation portion of our meeting. Board members may not respond to the public comment section. These proceedings may be recorded, and I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. Thank you for taking time this evening to join us and for your interest in the LaPorte Independent School District. At this time, will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Carry colors. Lord, march.
Joining us from LaPorte High School JROTC tonight are American Rifle Cadet Staff Sergeant Xavier Aguirre, American Flag Cadet Commander Sergeant Major Danica Himes, Texas Rifle Cadet Captain Kaylee Bailey, and Texas Flag Cadet Private First Class Aurora Flores. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Present colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Order. Colors. Colors. Post. Ready. Seat. Present arms. Order arms. Mark time. Mark. Forward. March.
Please remain standing for our invocation this evening, led by our Board Secretary, Mrs. Melissa Crutcher.
If you would, please bow your heads with me. Father God, we just want to come to you with thanks, gratitude from our heart, and just all the love in the world. We know that you are here with us in LaPorte ISD, and we know that you have filled every student, every staff member with your goodness, and you are bringing everyone together tonight to celebrate in one way or another. And that's why this room is packed, and we just are so grateful that you were able to bring everybody here with us tonight. Lord, we hope that you keep a strong hand on the path that we set forth for our district. We ask that you guide us in everything that we do. We ask that you give us clear heads, strong hearts, and let us everything that we do be for our students, our staff, and in your name. Lord, as everybody leaves here tonight, please watch over them, take care of them, keep them safe in their journeys, safe in their homes, and safe on their path to school tomorrow. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. All right, we will turn to item 5, board recognitions. Performance by Jenny Reed Elementary students. Or do you guys want to come?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Jenny Reed Elementary Tiki Club under the direction of Miss Jennifer Arisco.
Thank you so much. We are very happy to be here and honored to be invited. Here I've got before you some of my wonderful road runners from second grade. If you're in second grade, raise your hand. If you're in third grade, raise your hand. If you're in fourth grade, raise your hand. And if you're in 5th grade, raise your hand. There they are. So we are going to be singing and playing for you a song that you know. I know you know it, and we could use your help singing it. Deep in the Heart of Texas. And I thought you might want to know a little bit about this song. It was written in 1941. By June Hershey and Don Swander. And now, there's some interesting fun facts about this. In 1942, the five separate versions of the song were on the Billboard charts on your hit parade. 1942. The most notable recordings that have been made, and it's been recorded over and over. Even Ray Charles recorded it in 1960. Gene Autry's probably the one most of us, the one that I grew up listening to. Bing Crosby also recorded it with Woody Herman and his Woodchoppers. And the Mary Macs, and then Ted Weems and his orchestra with Perry Como singing. One of the fun facts about this song is that in 1942, in the middle of World War II, the BBC, the British Broadcasting System, banned it from their radios. And the reason why is because everyone loved it so much and everyone stopped what they were doing. If they were in the machine shops and the munitions war efforts, they stopped what they were doing to do the 4 claps. And so it was very dangerous in the munitions if they're dropping, all the gunpowder and everything. So it was banned until the end of the war. So I thought that was interesting. So we are going to sing that for you now. Good, thank you. All right. Yellow, purple, right? Here we go. You're welcome to sing along and please clap along. 1, 2, ready, here we go. The stars align, your big right.
Will y'all please come on?
And parents, while they're lining up for the photo, I just want to remind you, if you could exit this way, the hallway will take you around and it will avoid a bottleneck out here. The students will be exiting that way as well.
Outstanding. Bravissimo.
Yes, ma'am.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being here.
Hop back. Yeah, we're.
Last time I saw how you were talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 of our performing arts students were recently named All-State. And here to present a couple of recognitions is Director of Fine and Performing Arts, Dr. Matthew Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. Beginning in late August and going up until about a month ago, over 70,000 music students in the state of Texas begin the process to audition for the Texas Music Educator Association All-State Band. For the second year in a row, LaPorte High School is represented in this group, prestigious group, by our percussionist, Mr. Isaiah Macias. Isaiah, come on up. Isaiah went through 4 grueling auditions, starting in September and ending the beginning of January to be LaPorte High School's representative at the TMEA All-State Music Conference and Convention, which begins tomorrow, and will be for the next 3 days, and he'll be participating and performing with some of the best musicians in the state of Texas and across the country. So, congratulations, guy. Also with him tonight is his band director, Mr. Jason Harvey, who will be accompanying him as well. Okay. Walk up them.
Okay. Sorry. I don't know what to do. Congratulations.
Also tonight, we'd like to recognize Miss Sienna Naron. Excuse me. Miss Naron was selected to participate in the All-State Dance team with the Texas Dance Educator Association. Sierra attended the annual TDA convention and performed as a feature dancer with other All-State students from across the state of Texas. So congratulations. Tonight with her is Miss Janine Watson. Where's Miss Watson? Come on up.
Seventh grade.
2 feet? No boot. No boot.
Congratulations once again. National School Counseling Week 2026 was this past week. We focused on public attention to the unique contribution of school counselors within U.S. school systems, and in particular, LaPorte ISD. Tonight, we recognize LaPorte ISD's wonderful counselors and highlight the tremendous impact that they have in helping students achieve school success, plan for a career, and with social and emotional support. And we will start out with our elementary counselors. First, Cindy Martin, Bayshore Elementary. Audra Mazariegos, College Park Elementary. Hillary McClellan, Heritage Elementary. Diana Harelka, LaPorte Elementary. Lisa Cox, Lomax Elementary.
All these people back here.
And finally, Miss Melissa Mansfield, Rizzuto Elementary.
Thank
It's all good.
Okay, elementary counselors, smile for the camera. Awesome. Moving over to our secondary counselors, Danielle Knight, James H. Baker, 6th grade campus. Brenda New, LaPorte Junior High School. Jill Howells, Lomax Junior High School.
Thank you.
April Hawthorne, the Academy of Viola DeWalt High School. From LaPorte High School, April Keys. Casey Smith. Also from LaPorte High School, Jennifer Cummings. Lacey Rodriguez. Brenda Sadler. Erin Cameron Webb. She couldn't make it, but we'll move on to one other, and that is our district level counselor, Dr. Nancy Oriana, coordinator of advanced learning and student services.
Appreciate you. Thank you, counselors.
Thank you, counselors.
It's okay.
One more.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night. Ladies and gentlemen, now with a very special presentation, or presentations, is Charlotte Penny, Executive Director of the LaPorte Education Foundation.
Thank you, Adam. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for accepting kind of our secret invitation. You're about to find out why. But before we get started, I want to introduce the LPF Board of Directors. Mr. Joseph Zwerkin, the President. Ms. Debbie Wade, she's the Chair of our Grants Committee. Mr. Michael Berry, Miss Erica Mendez Gutierrez, Sarah Copeland, Christina Thralls, Thomas Green, Carrie Regan, Miss Melissa Crutcher, who's the director and also secretary of the LPISD Board of Trustees. Also, Mrs. Karen Wheeler Hall, who's on our board and also a trustee. Right now, we don't want to hold you up. We know time is valuable. We're going to toss it to Miss Debbie Wade, who's the chair of our grants committee.
Well, since this is the month of hearts and love, we want to thank our wonderful donors, and the LaPorte Education Foundation is able to award, because of these donors, our Share the Love mini grants, again, this year totaling a little more than $9,800. We will be presenting these mini grants to 43 LaPorte ISD teachers and staff. These grants were submitted as Amazon wish list for $250 or less for a wide variety of teaching and classroom supplies across the district. Grant winners, we will be ordering your wish list items in the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for your packages. And please share your videos of you opening your boxes on our LPEF Facebook page. And now for our Share the Love mini grant winners for 2026. When we call your name, please excitedly come up here. From the Academy of Viola DeWalt High School, Kristen Balistreri. And Pilar Goazuro. I guess just kind of line up down that way. Come on, get it back. Stay up here after your name's called, because we're going to get a really big group picture. From administration, Michael Newman. From Bayshore Elementary, Kim Crawford. Michelle Gilchrist. Brittany Hernandez. Sarah Vargo. Taylor Harris Guerrero. And Mary McDonald is also winning a grant, but she was not able to be with us tonight. Now from College Park Elementary, we have Kristen Jennings. And also Lori Flores, who could not be with us tonight, but we will get those hearts to them. From Heritage Elementary, we have Trina Joy Boudreau. Amy Cole. Dama Goins. Alyssa O'Quinn. And Marcy Traylor. She got the memo. She wore her red love shirt. From Baker 6th grade campus, Jessica Cotton Bernard. Danielle Knight. Where is she? I know she walked out. Maybe we could see if she's out there with the counselors having a party. Okay, Paola Magdaleno. And Candace Stakes. All right, we're gonna have to double up on the rows here, I think. From Jenny Reed Elementary, we have Julia Cadrell. Is Julia here? Not here? Okay. Brooke Diedrich. Yeah. And Catherine Kozal. Y'all are just going to have to arrange yourself from tallest in the back to shortest in the front. All right, now we're going to LaPorte Elementary. Sierra Lewis.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
And Sarah Stockdale also, but she is not with us tonight. From LaPorte High School, Shelby Jones. She's not here with us tonight, but she's getting a grant. Robbie Lassiter. Emily Reedy.
In a bigger room?
Teresa Agarado. And also Karen Butcher and Bobby Murphy, who neither one could be here with us tonight, but they are getting grants also. From LaPorte Junior High, Hannah Gambiano. Amanda Maddox. Alyssa Ruffin. From Rizzuto Elementary, Courtney Pruitt. And Jennifer Vargas. From Lomax Elementary, Trixie Hatfield. Denise Poole. Rebecca Clark. Laura Hogg. And Emily Sanders. And from Lomax Junior High, Kirsty Fontenot. And Stephen Mabry is receiving one, but he's not here with us tonight. So those are our Share the Love mini grant winners for 2026. Congratulations.
Several more worlds.
We have to make another one.
Let's do 0.5 here.
Or pull some chairs.
Hang on, get in the picture.
I'll get a little.
Hang on. I think there's still some board members.
Are we missing anyone? There we go.
See on
Hey, and then we talk to ourselves for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
This was beautiful. A good feel-good moment, right? We're good. We're done, guys. We're done. We're done.
Okay.
All right, guys, we will turn now to item 6, public comments. The board will now hear those who wish to make comments and who have completed and returned the public comment participation request. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act and board policy. Complaints and concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. And just a reminder to the board, we unfortunately cannot respond to any comment. I'll ask Mr. Vice President if we have any. Oh, you gonna read it? Yeah. Mason, do we have any comments this evening?
Yes, sir.
We have Chris Raines from Valley View Drive would like to talk about the golf program.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I came to the June of 2025 meeting to talk about some questions and concerns I had about the program. Within days, Dr. Jackson and Mason Perez contacted me to get details on this. I'd like to express my appreciation for everything that was done. Not only that what was done, but how it was handled. Their kids are super excited about using the rooms, and they appreciate everything that y'all have done. That's mainly all I came to say is thank you for everything you've done for them, and we have a little token of appreciation for everyone.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Oh, I love it.
Dad? My bad. Yes, sir. Just, it started because you showed interest, and I still remember the night. And I remember you were very apprehensive about coming up to talk to us that night, but I'm glad you did, and that it was fruitful. You know, it just takes a parent having a concern and bringing those issues to us. We don't always have a solution, but the fact that you took the time and came up and brought the attention, that's how, results happen. So thank you for your part in it as well. It's a collective effort. Everybody's got to do their part, so thank you.
Thank y'all.
Dr. Martinez, I know you had a big part in that. Dr. Martinez, I'll put you on the spot, but you want to say a few words? We had a chance, you showed a couple of us the finished product. You want to say a few words on that?
Sure.
Please, sir.
He's staff.
So just, we're super excited, guys, and we know we're like 99%. There's a few things that we want to button up, and so I was glad I got to get some FaceTime with a couple of our Booster Club parents tonight. So we're going to meet, we're going to discuss more about what we can do to just make that a space that it's going to be, yours for years to come, and we're excited about it. And so we're excited because you're excited about it. So we're looking forward to it. Hope that you guys, hopefully we can grow the game and grow the passion and just continue to be a good experience. We thank you guys for speaking up, for letting us know, and we're happy with the product, and it really is fantastic. So we hope to do like a little open house where everybody can come in and see. Thank you all.
Thanks, sir. Turn to item 7, our administrative reports. A superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. President. The board has a copy of the superintendent's report. I will not read that tonight. Board, you have a copy of that for your pleasure. And it certainly has been a busy month and a busy second semester already. But I'll yield the floor, Mr. President, to just having the board read it on their own time.
Okay, I appreciate that. We'll turn then to item B, delinquent tax presentation by Purdue Brandon.
So good evening, Dr. Jackson, President Martin, and Board of Trustees. For our monthly board financial update, Justin Barlow and Jason Bailey with Purdue Brandon will present an overview of the LaPorte ISD's delinquent tax collections. So Justin joined Purdue Brandon in 2020. He focuses on delinquent tax collections and litigation. Justin helps to oversee litigation in Harris County in tax courts and in Harris County's district courts. Jason Bailey joined Purdue Brandon in 1996. This year marks Jason's 30th year as a delinquent tax attorney. Jason maintains his presence in litigation, but also provides a wide level of expertise for LaPorte ISD related to operations and other services offered by the firm. Justin and Jason are LaPorte ISD's tax attorneys, and they will review LaPorte ISD's tax accounts and directly engage. They review LaPorte ISD's tax accounts, and they directly engage with the accounts through the collections process from the time they are turned over to Purdue Brandon until they are collected. Presentation is on the board, and it's also, you have a copy. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Vidal. President Martin, board members, Dr. Jackson, and guests, thank y'all for giving us an opportunity to come up and give y'all an update on what we've been able to do for delinquent tax collections. We appreciate the opportunity. Tax collections are kind of a year behind, so y'all set the budget. So last year in 2024, y'all set your tax rate, mailed out the bills. They went delinquent in February of 2025. In April of 2025, the business personal property were turned over to our firm for collections. And in July, all the remaining real property were. So that kind of sets the calendar, and you'll hear Justin talk about those dates. But before he gives you the good news, I just want to let you know that we have worked for the district for a long time. We have developed a program that we call Compassionate Collections with proven results. And that's what we're trying to do. We want you to know, when Justin talks about the statistics and the great collection numbers we've had for the district, we're reaching out and contacting every one of your citizens to give an opportunity to pay. We view it as a mutual problem. They owe the district money. They need to resolve this debt. It grows each month with more interest, so the quicker we can help them resolve that. The truth of the matter is, over about 98% of the people pay the taxes in your community. So it's that last 2%. There's people that just don't want to pay taxes. I'm not going to tell you differently. We'll deal with those, but a lot of them, something's happened. And so our job is to do we do an outgoing contact campaign to reach out to the people. What you won't hear Justin talking about in statistics, everybody sends a letter. What separates us from our competition are phone calls, text messages, emails. My daughter won't read a letter if you send it to her. She's 26 years old because I'm old, as you heard. I hand her a letter that gets accidentally sent to my house. She throws it in the garbage. It doesn't come across her phone. She doesn't do it. So we've had to adapt to that. But we're going to reach out and give everybody an opportunity to try to pay these taxes. We view filing a lawsuit, we're going to talk about them, as a failure. We want to reach out to the person. Normal husband, wife, mortgage company, that's $800 in court costs if we file a suit. They can use that money to pay the taxes to the district. So we're going to give them every opportunity. And to get to the collection results that we have, I just want y'all to know that we're making sure that we reach out to your citizens and give them an opportunity to pay. But I'm going to turn it over to Justin so he can give y'all some good news on the collection numbers, and we'll be here to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Good evening. As Jason indicated, I'm Justin. I am a little bit more hands-on. I'm going to kind of take you guys through some of the weeds. Jason gave us the 50,000-foot view of what we do. I'm not going to go so far into the weeds that, we could be here all night because I love doing this. But just to go ahead and get started, is this the clicker? The mouse? Okay. All right, so just to get started, this is a breakdown of the total base tax that's been turned over to our firm since our time representing the district. So you'll see that's about $3.8 million. What you want to take away from this chart is, where is that money? What are we doing to actually get it collected and back into the district? You'll see that the largest category is in litigation. That's kind of a good thing. That means we're working it. We're getting these accounts funneled back to the district to get people paid. Sometimes they are paying. They're in the process of a payment plan, but we have to go through the litigation process because maybe that payment plan is going to be for an extended period of time. But to protect the district's interest, we'll go ahead and take the judgment, work with the taxpayer, because as Jason explained, it's about compassionate collections. These are the people in your district. These are your neighbors. These are the patrons of the school district. So we don't want to get in the business of shaking anybody down. We're definitely trying to make sure that the district has the money that it's owed, but we're also going to make sure that we do it in an efficient way. The next section is going to be the action pending. What that means is, perhaps maybe we don't know where this person lives quite yet. So we have to do a number of researches to make sure that we find the right person, we're getting to the right people, whether it's a business, whether it's a residence home. You know, sometimes a person says, I have to talk to the wife before I make this decision. And we're in that process, and we're walking people through step by step in the way to collections. Bankruptcy, whole other set of issues outside of litigation. Bankruptcy is walked through by its bankruptcy code. We have a board certified attorney that also helps us with those accounts. She makes sure that accounts at the federal level, at the national level, are monitored, because some of these businesses, as we know in LaPorte, do go on a national scale. And so we're in those courtrooms fighting for the LaPorte's interest in those regards as well. If I'm going too fast, please feel free to just jump at me, stop me. But again, this is just a breakdown as to where that money is since it's been turned over to us. Dollar range. How much money are we actually talking about? What do the accounts look like? What you'll notice is the largest portion, that 54%, is $10,000 and up. So that means that account is owing at least $10,000. The thing I do want to point out to everyone this evening is that out of 1,448 accounts, only 58 accounts make up that provision or that portion. What are we doing with those accounts? I can tell you a lot of them are uncollectible, which means it may be a business that was here and has since moved. The appraisal district has the account open, so we're going to try to investigate it. We're going to try to make sure that we, again, track those people down, make sure we get to the right people to see if they're going to pay that or if they're going to close the account. If they close the account, it still gets it off of LaPorte's books, and we can kind of clean up the tax roll in a separate way. Again, just a further breakdown of how much each account might be worth. The next biggest section is the 14% at $5,000 to $10,000. Moving right along, just in the interest of time. All right, so tax years. How does that break down out of that 3.8 million? Which tax years are making up that biggest portion? Obviously, the 2024 tax year is going to make up the biggest portion because it's the newest tax year that's been turned over to our office. So Jason and I haven't had as long to sit and work on those accounts because they were just turned over to our office in July. And this report was updated as of 1/18/2026. So again, from July to January, that should be the largest portion that we are still in the process of collecting. What you will notice, and is kind of some of the good news, as the years go further back in time, they get smaller. That means because Jason and I have had the opportunity to sit with them, work with the taxpayers that are owning these accounts, we're getting them paid. So even though a tax year may be getting older, doesn't mean that anything to us. We keep working it. We keep trying to find these people to, again, filter that money back to the district. So this next provision is kind of an evidence of that. So this is specifically talking about the 2020 tax year. So what you'll notice in that first tax, or in that first year of the 2020 year being turned over to our office, we were at a 67.58 collection rate. Now, the longer we have to work this account, the better the number should look. So we're up to 82.9% on the 2020 tax year. Specifically, and just to kind of give, I guess, a little bit of a war story, we just had a tax year that was owing for 2019. It was Jet Tech Rentals. We didn't get a judgment on them until 2023. So So though we filed the suit in 2020, it took 3 years of litigation. And I can attest, I was the guy in there banging on the desk, objecting to everything. But, I joke when I say that, but it is collaborating with opposing counsel, collaborating with that business to make sure that it gets paid. And we got it paid just this past December, and Ms. McDowell was updated on that. We do make sure that we are making sure that the district remains informed as well. So we were able to collect $268,000 through the 2023 year, and they're going to close the account for 2024, 2025. It's their position that we're no longer here in LaPorte, so they're just going to close the account. And again, we're compassionate. We're going to give them time to do that, but we're going to make sure something happens. So just moving right along, again, it's a similar spiel for 2021. We started at 58%, up to 76. 2022 started at 69, up to 73. 2023. There's a little bit of a caveat here. What you'll notice is we started at 62, and Justin, you went down. Why are your stats going down? Reason for that, because we don't pad our stats. So what you'll notice at the top of each slide, we highlight the base tax that's owed. The reason for that is, as you know, the longer a tax is owed, the more penalty and interest accrue on it. So we don't pad our stats to say, Mr. Hanks, I got more money because it took me longer. We start with what that base was. So because that base starts at X, taxpayers are afforded the ability to protest their valuations. They're afforded their administrative rights under the tax code, and we have to allow them to do that. So there were 2 accounts specifically in 2023. I'll give you the names of those. It was Hazmat and Axios. So these are business personal accounts. They're big. They're big companies. They were large accounts, and they took advantage of their administrative remedy to protest their valuation. So their value didn't actually come out until 2024. So that's why the 2023 tax year was then applied in 2024, that next year, and thereby bringing our percentage collection down. Though again, we are still working with them. Hazmat is currently on a payment plan. They did file a bankruptcy. We're working with them to go ahead and make sure that everything gets paid. Similarly, Axios, they'll see me in April for a trial. So again, we do make sure that we're staying after people, but obviously in the most efficient and effective ways. 2024, our most recent tax year, as of December 2025, we were at 43.1%. Now I do have an updated figure for you. We got it up to 45% as of the end of January. So that's just the most recent information that we received from the tax office. We do work directly with Ms. Alanis in the tax office to make sure that last 3% is collected. So again, it's typically 2 to 3%. So even though that 2 to 3% may be small to Ms. Alanis in the tax office, it's Jason and I's world, so we don't take it lightly. Are there any questions? Anything else you wanted me to go further into detail with?
I just want to make a comment. Your firm has worked with our district, I think the entire time of my board service, if I'm correct. Jason, don't you think so? Okay. And y'all have always done an excellent job for us. I've talked to patrons that have had dealings with you because they were in delinquent tax, and y'all are always professional with them, and so we appreciate that, because you're right, they're still, maybe they had a hard year or whatever the issue was, but they're still in our community. So we appreciate your hard work, and I know it's a lot of research and time behind every single one of those numbers. So anyway, we appreciate you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Anything else?
I'll ditto that. I've heard great things as well from different people. Not throughout the years, but in recent years. But I think it's also important to know that the district and the administration has the best interest of the district in mind, and so complacency kills. And we want to make sure that our vendors are living up to the expectations of our administration. And I think we've kind of took advantage. We know that now this year. So keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And I just want to conclude by thanking the board, Dr. Jackson, for the opportunity to represent you guys. We do enjoy the line of work that we are in. That's why we're at the prize patrols and that sort of thing, because we do appreciate LaPorte. Thank you, guys.
So just one thing. You work with Ms. McDowell.
Yes, sir.
But I'm the superintendent.
Yes,
I would appreciate that y'all communicate with me.
Yes, sir.
that fair?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll say this too. We appreciate it. I've been on board 5 or 6 years now, and this is the first time y'all come, so I appreciate the update because it's hear all these things about collection and stuff. It's cool to kind of put the numbers in front of us. So we appreciate you guys and the work you're doing. So
absolutely.
Again, board, if you have more questions, again, we thank you guys, and we'll move on to the next topic.
Thank you.
Where am I? Sorry. Secondary schedule initiative.
Yes, sir. Let me introduce this. Thank you, Mr. Board President. Board President Martin, a few weeks ago on January 19th, a team that consisted of high school principal, counselors, a teacher, central administration from Porte ISD traveled to Laredo, Texas to visit United ISD. United ISD is a high-performing school district that has operated under a master schedule that we call the 5x5 plan, which allows high school students numerous opportunities for success throughout their high school career. We spent an entire day and a half, actually, hearing from United High School's principal, counselors, and other school leaders about how their 5x5 plan could be implemented in our district, should that be a future decision. Let me be very clear, no decisions have been made about the schedule discussed tonight. We are still in the research, learning, and investigation phase. Tonight, I've asked Dr. Cade Griffin to come and give you an update on our visit and answer any first impression questions you might have about the 5x5 plan. Dr. Griffin?
Thank you, Dr. Jackson, Mr. Martin, board members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak with you guys about an idea that we're definitely researching, but something we're very excited about. And so I wanted to share with you kind of the issues that we're facing and kind of how we think that this targets those issues, and then what kind of research we still have to do in order to see if this is a recommendation we would like to bring to you guys. So the most important tool that I have in order to make sure that the opportunities that our kids have at the high school is the master schedule. We currently run a very traditional 7-period schedule, the same schedule that high school's been running for 50 years. And it's the most important thing we have to make sure we're meeting every child's needs. We promote equity and access and improve student outcomes. So you can tell a lot by high school by how they set up their master schedule. Where do they put classes? How much time do they afford to different things? And it's basically what we spend all summer long making sure that we promote as many opportunities as we can for the kids that we have. We want to make sure that we are providing opportunities that hold a balance between what kids love to do and what they also need. There's only so many periods in the day. Some of you have had high school students that have come through, and you've probably gotten those phone calls where you've gotten from one of the administrators that said, look, I know you really want to take this class and this class, but they're during the same time, you're going to have to pick. That happens every year. We make those phone calls every year because the kids have 7 periods in order to make the schedule that they need. But with the new changes that they had to CCMR and the ever-changing system that TEA put into place, we see our kids getting more and more narrow. What they're able to take in order to accomplish the goals that they have, but still have time to take the things that interest them and those things that keep them in school, the things that they're excited about. And it's becoming more and more challenging year in and year out as more requirements get added on and different things happen to different pathways that we have. So as we're dealing with those constantly raised cut scores on what it takes in order to get a kid graduated and have all the things that they need, we just find that really getting squeezed. So what's the need? Time is the most important lever that we have. It controls everything that happens at the high school. And currently our student success depend on 28 to get 26. They have 28 possible credits while they're in high school. 7 periods, 4 years, 28 times to get 26 credits. Well, if you are wanting to do something that is outside of the scope of your graduation path, you only have 2 opportunities to do that. And then if you aren't successful in a year, that puts you even further behind. So now we're trying to play catch up. And there's not a lot of time in the schedule for us to play catch up with you. Because again, you only have 28 opportunities to get 26 credits. And so it really starts squeezing the opportunities that our kids have, especially if they happen to fall behind. If you're not aware, the grade level that has the most kids in it across the country, without fail, is the 9th grade year. Because it is the hardest transition that a student is ever going to go through in their entire career. So the number of 9th graders we have is drastically higher than every other grade, and it's that way at every high school. And so we have to make sure that we embed our intervention time within the school day. That's 45-minute periods. So a kid comes in, we get them situated, we take attendance, we do our warm-up, we're already down to 40 minutes. And so being able to give that good tier 1 instruction within that time, but still have time within that period to provide embedded intervention, that time again just gets more and more constrained. CCMR is not optional. It is not an optional part of what we do at the high school. And it shouldn't be. We should be trying to get kids college and career ready. That is a part of our job. But we have to build that into the schedule for them to get their math, their science, their social studies, but also get those CCMR opportunities. And just make sure that we have equity of resources and opportunities. Again, there's only so many periods in the day. There's only so many staff members that we have. And so we make the schedule as broad as we can, but also still work within the confines of making sure that kids get everything that they need. And it's very difficult, and it gets more difficult every year. So, so we were made aware of this idea because Galena Park ISD is actually moving to this program next year. And we found out that Deer Park was actually going to go to look at Laredo as well, so we ended up teaming up with them and went down all together to go look at it. There's a lot of districts in this area that are looking at this program as a way to kind of work through those needs that I was talking about. So how the program actually works is that it is a 5x5 accelerated block schedule. How it's different than a regular block schedule is, in a regular block schedule, you go to your A-day classes this day, and then you go to different classes the next day. In this particular schedule, you only have 5 classes for an entire semester. But you go to each class Monday through Friday, about 80 to 90 minutes a day, depending on the schedule. So instead of taking 7 year-long classes, you take 5 classes in the fall and 5 classes in the spring for a total of 10 credits. So now we're going from 28 to get 26 to 40 to get 26, which means that you're going to have a lot more opportunity in the schedule for students to take not only the things that they need, but also things that they want. And then if they do fall behind, opportunities for them to get caught back up. So each class, like I said, meets for a longer intervention block, or instructional block. Core instruction, intervention, and acceleration can all happen within that 90 minutes. We're no longer pressed for that time within that one period in order to provide the instruction and the intervention and the acceleration that we need. So it provides a lot of flexibility as far as when the students take things. Right now it's very, very structured. They're going to take this class, and this class as a freshman, and then they'll take this class, and this class as a sophomore. This provides a lot more flexibility to kind of determine when you take a class. You could not take a social studies class until the spring. You could put in extra classes, like you could have an entire SAT prep class that a kid takes as a class with a teacher for a grade, working to get them ready for the SAT test. Because you have so much room in their schedule to do those types of innovative things. And that's really what I think is the most interesting thing to me about schedule, is just the amount of opportunities that it provides us, and the flexibility it provides not only us, but most importantly for the students. I mean, United ISD in particular, talking about them, their graduating class last year was over 900 kids. Of their 900 kids, 90% of them completed a CTE pathway. That is an unbelievably high number for a high school. That means almost every single senior was able to complete an entire course sequence of CTE courses. That's incredible when you consider all the other things that they're in. Because it's a full comprehensive high school. There's over 3,500 kids at that school. So it's not like it's just some little farm school that doesn't have near the opportunities that we have. It's a very large school that has all kinds of opportunities. So, like I said before, pretty much the biggest benefits that we've come through are definitely the increased credit opportunities for kids and different things like that. As students have options. If you really want to take that AP Calculus class and you want to take AP Seminar, we have room in the schedule for you to do that. You may not get it in the fall semester, but you can definitely get it in the spring semester. So being able to fit those kinds of things in and giving kids more opportunities is an amazing thing. And then also, just the students have less classes. Instead of having 7 classes of 7 things of homework and 7 things of deadlines and 7 things of tests, there's only 5. And so kids are able to focus, have deeper learning in 1 subject at a time as opposed to 7 subjects at a time. And just that flexibility we have to meet student needs. So as if a kid is not successful in a class, there's room in that schedule. Instead of us putting them in a credit recovery class where they're trying to recover multiple credits within a semester, we can put them right back into that class with a teacher getting all the instruction that they need for an entire another semester, and it not take them off track for graduation. So it really provides a lot of flexibility and opportunity for our students. So just kind of the next steps, we have created a guiding coalition within the district, and we're also going to be creating a student advisory council just to kind of talk through. I mean, I'm not interested in being first on this. I'm interested in doing it right and making sure that we spend the time researching it to make sure that this proposal that we bring to you, we can firmly believe and say with conviction that this is the best thing for LaPorte High School and the community. So we are going to continue to look into this, research, learn with other districts. Like I said, I know that Crosby ISD is looking to move to this next year. Like I said, Deer Park is looking to move to it in 2 years. So we plan on working with these different communities to kind of see what does that program that they're running there, how does it work here? And so, you know, our school is very different than United High School. And so we got to see, you know, is that system going to work here just because it works there? And so we're going to work, spend the time, do that, and then come back to you with a recommendation and just kind of see where that takes us. The possible target that we're looking at is not next school year, definitely at least the school year after that. But that concludes my remarks. Any questions?
I went with Dr. Jackson and Dr. Griffin and the delegation that went to United, which we learned is a far ways away. Dr. Jackson and I rode back together.
Cool. And you drive too fast.
I have good insurance. But it was worth noting United ISD has been doing this for over 30 years, and so have some of their surrounding districts, and it does work really well for them. So I'm interested to see how it works in Galena Park. And you could tell that when we went and they were presenting to us, they said, well, where have y'all been? You know, we've been doing this for 30 years. They were shocked that we were learning about it. So I think it's going to be a great initiative just based on what I heard from United. And I hope that they can send their delegation down here to do a presentation to all of our local boards. Thanks.
Yes.
I do have questions,
Yeah,
sorry.
please.
So what would, kind of touched on it a little bit, but like, could you walk me through what a schedule would look like? Because again, when I heard this initially, I thought about us doing the orange and white scheduling when we were in school.
Very different.
Starting from junior, I mean, we did it all of our years, where it was alternate days. So what would it look like with our, especially our core classes, you know, our language arts and
So, I mean, just like a typical freshman, they would take English 1, Algebra 1, they would take Biology 1, and then they would have two other classes. So they could be in athletics, or they could be in a CTE class, and they could take the social studies class in the spring. And so either way, and so one of the great things about this system is that since they are taking they're taking basically all of English 1 in the fall. They actually take the STAR test in December. And then if they were not successful, we could put them into another English 1 class the next spring where they're still getting instruction, and then take the test again in April. So they're having 2 chances to take the test in 1 year as opposed to just 1. I will tell you that the United scores are extremely impressive for what they're doing. And they have a lot of great things built into place, so we're really excited to learn from them. We really appreciate the opportunity to go down there.
And do they stay on grade level? Like, so if they are successful in that semester, are they able to take English 2 in the spring?
They could, but they hold it to the fall because they want to give their kids opportunities to take the test twice if they need to, and to get that extra intervention in the spring semester for the STAR tested subjects. But in the other subjects, yes, like you could take biology in the fall and you could take chemistry in the spring instead of waiting till your sophomore year. They have a very, very robust dual enrollment program. Because they can fit it into the schedule. Right now, we can only offer dual enrollment classes the first 2 periods of the day and the last 2 periods of the day. That's it. That's the only time we can make it work. They have dual enrollment all day long because you basically are moving it to more of a college schedule.
What's their student to teacher ratio with that many kids? I'm just thinking of things being repetitively taught all the time so that the student has an option.
Right. So, I mean, they're a pretty typical ratio. I mean, depending on the class, I mean, they do some of the things that we do as far as like if it's a pre-AP class versus if it's a STAR class, things like that try to keep the numbers down for different subjects. But I mean, it's pretty typical to have anywhere from 20 to 30 depending on what the class is.
Depending on the topic. Okay.
Hypothetically, someone graduate too? Those are the same thing.
They could, however,
they have it in a policy.
Yeah, but they actually have it in a policy, and there are certain classes that you hold back. If you just don't allow kids to take English 4, then they can't graduate. And so some classes they hold back, but then also the other thing that they do, and that this is something that is something to think about, they actually have much higher graduation requirements. In our system, it is 26 to graduate on the highest plan. Their highest plan in policy is 30 credits. So their students are actually earning 4 more credits than the students here because they can. And so, I mean, it's great to be able to have a higher standard and make sure that they meet it. And their actual lowest standard is 26.
And I asked a lot about that same question that Jeff had, but their policies follow this schedule. So let's just say we did this in a year. You would have to kind of go and look at some policies to ensure we don't want all of our kids graduating, after 2 years. We just don't want to do that. I don't think any school wants to. And so the way that they were able to do that is they created policies in place to ensure that kids are doing it, plus the 30 credits for graduation sake.
And they also have the ability that they, a senior in particular, that if they had all their credits and the other requirements they need for graduation, that they could have up to 3 periods off out of the 5. And so they have a lot of kids that go to work. They have a lot of kids that do a lot more dual enrollment classes, things like that. So they come for the 2 periods a day, and then they go to the junior college and finish up for the rest of the afternoon. And so there's just a lot of different things you can do in order to keep everyone engaged.
I'm also thinking like CTE classes, it gives somebody an opportunity to maybe take accounting. I don't even know if we offer all this, but like if they take accounting 1 and 2 is all they can fit in right now.
Right.
Maybe in this scheduling option, they maybe could fit in accounting 3 and 4 if that's what they see as their
and I'll tell you one of the other huge benefits is that, of the 90% that all were CTE completers, 60% of that also had more than one IBC in 2 different fields. So right now, our kids, you can choose one thing. You can be in culinary or you can be in health science. You definitely can't be in both, and you can't change your mind. Here, you can finish one and start a new one, or you could just say, I really would like to take a welding class. I don't want to be a welder, but I want to take intro to welding to see what it's like. We have no room in our schedule for something like that. If you're going to go into welding, you're going to finish welding, and your ability to change that is not really possible.
I know some of the teachers I've talked to are excited about the fact that they would have longer than, they barely have 40 minutes really when you get down to it, because the classes are 42 minutes?
About 45 minutes, yes.
45. So by the time you take roll and do all the things, and you're really compressed for time, and depending on what you teach, you can't get a science lab in hardly in 40 minutes,
It's very difficult.
In CTE, it would be even more difficult. So
absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just love the fact that you guys, outside the box, you guys are coming up with these ideas and researching them, and it seems like a no-brainer. I'm excited to see future holds. So thank you guys for bringing it to us.
If the districts around us are going to do this, in order for us to be competitive, we really need.
Well, we want to measure 10 times.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's something we strongly would need to.
Absolutely.
But they have heard me kind of say, let's take our time so that, but I'm glad to hear that the board is certainly warming up to this concept.
It's perfect.
My goal is always, and they get tired of hearing me say this, but my team, we don't want to be the district that's JCL. Right? Johnny come lately. We want to be on the cutting edge of some of this. I think this is one of those things that's cutting edge. And I think even if we did it a year from now, we're still ahead of.
Oh, absolutely.
There's 1,046 districts in this state. There's probably 5 or 6 districts right now.
Right.
So we are really on the cutting edge of something transformative.
Except,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying 30 years. We're just not getting around. But it's like, they were there.
Yeah. Yeah. They were also in 97.
Thank you, Dr. Griffin. Board, you guys done any more comments? Thank you, sir. We'll turn now to item G, TXRL literacy update.
Ms. Viator?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, President Martin, Board of Trustees, Dr. Jackson. Thank you for the opportunity to share an update about the TXRL, the Texas Reads, Texas Leads grant. We're very proud of this work. We have been working, as you know, we were one of 16 districts in the state of Texas to receive this $250,000 grant, and we've been working diligently across all 7 campuses to implement this work and to really move, as you know, from balanced literacy to a more science-based approach to structured literacy. So we're supporting that in all K through 3 campuses across the 7. And so recently I want to share with you that our TXRL team visited Goose Creek ISD, our neighbor, and then also visited Castleberry ISD. If you don't know where that is, it's in Fort Worth. And so we visited those 2 and really just learned and collaborated with some great teams there. But what I want to share with you is on January 22nd, you may know this, Ms. Crutcher was there at LaPorte Elementary, and we hosted the Texas Reads, Texas Leads showcase visit. And that was a fantastic opportunity to just show what our district is doing and show districts across Texas who came, as well as some of the university partners who prepare students for student teaching and things. So they wanted to see what the things were that we were doing in the classroom. And of course the CA group, who's one of our sponsors who we work with on a regular basis to support this work. So just wanted to take an opportunity to show you a video that was prepared so you can get a sneak peek into that.
Over the past year, our district has been engaged in some very important work in partnership with the Texas Reads, Texas Leads initiative, focused on strengthening our early literacy instruction through a shift to structured literacy from balanced literacy practices. This shift is grounded in the research, and it's aligned to how students learn to read. In January, we had the wonderful opportunity to open our doors at LaPorte Elementary to a Texas Reads, Texas Leads showcase. This showcase brought districts and educators from across the state to our district to see the great progress we are making in this shift. And they were there to learn from our journey, to engage in meaningful conversations about implementation, the challenges that we're facing, challenges they could anticipate facing as they make the shifts, and just watching and seeing and talking about the growth that we're seeing as a result of this change. Most importantly, it allowed our teachers and leaders to shine a positive light on the incredible work happening daily in our classrooms and on our campuses. This work would not be possible without strong partnerships. We're really grateful for the grant support that fuels this effort, funded through the Moody Foundation, the Charles Butt Foundation, and the CA Group. It's really helped us strengthen our instructional practices and ultimately improving the outcomes for our students. So we are really honored and grateful to have been a part of this TXRL grant opportunity. Teaching literacy and teaching children to read and doing this work in the right way and supporting our teachers along the way is setting our students up for real success. This isn't just about a grant or a new approach or trying to implement something new. It really truly is about ensuring that the way we provide literacy instruction allows every child to leave our classrooms with the skills that they need to thrive with a strong literacy foundation.
I just want to say a special thank you to first Principal Karen Lawley and her team for hosting the showcase. Our teachers did an outstanding job, and Julie Spears, who also heads up that work at LaPorte Elementary, and of course Meredith Halbadier. She is our district literacy specialist, and she is overseeing this grant and doing fantastic work for us. I also want to thank Sam and his team. They did diligent work coming out and videoing and just really capturing all those special moments. So anyway, that's just exciting. I don't know if you'll have any questions about that grant. Okay. Yes, sir, you're welcome. I'm here again, if that's okay.
All right, we'll turn to House Bill 3, Board Goals Presentation.
Yes, sir. All right. I appreciate the opportunity again to all of you to be able to speak to you about our House Bill 3 board goals. This will look very familiar. We talked about this in the fall, and just wanted to provide you with some updates and some additional recommendations that we have as we move through these House Bill 3 board goals. This is based on the 60 by 30 work in Texas. So by 2030, the state has a requirement that at least 60% of Texans ages 25 to 34 will have a certificate certificate or a degree. And you think about 25 to 34, but we're talking about what happens prior to. We were just talking about early literacy work, and then we're talking about, Cade was talking about career and college readiness. And so we want to think about where those students will be as young adults. And so what Texas looks at when they think about 60% of our Texans in that age group, think about that, sorry about that, is that it really is the future of our economy, our economic growth and stability in the state. So just looking at our education process. So just in response to this, questions about readiness in K through 12, we're supporting bold actions from higher education, but also this is what led us to these board goals and initiatives of making sure that we're aligned to college and career readiness to be able to achieve this goal. So just a quick overview, what is required by House Bill 3 is that all school boards in the state must adopt detailed plans to achieve these goals, and there's 3 areas: early literacy, early math proficiency, and then college and career and military readiness. They must be specific and quantifiable, and these annual targets are every 5 years there's a deadline, and we have to look at where we are and then set additional deadlines and targets. Each goal should have 1 or more progress measures, and we certainly do that. Just a couple of things I want to tell you about is that we have to, with you, also regularly just review and look at our progress that we have reported. And so we're going to do that here briefly. Just to revisit some of the things, you can tell that this expired in 2025, but we looked at goals from 2021 till then. But there have been quite a few changes since then. So I want to just kind of go over this first goal in early literacy and just thinking about what it was at that stand. So we said 53% of students in 2019 would be proficient. And when we look at proficient, when you're thinking about the STAR results, sometimes we talk about approaches, meets, and masters. So proficiency is at least at meets. That is a goal we want to make sure, because as we're looking at that, we want to make sure students are prepared for, as we said, the college and career military readiness. And so to 65% in 2025. I just wanted to make that very clear of where that is, just so we understood where that goal was. So if we think about our early literacy and where we are, and think about these timelines, as we know, lots of things have taken place here. First of all, the STAR test changed. We went from STAR to STAR 2.0. And that's whenever the rigorous standards, they up the expectations for the assessment. There was more focus on proficiency, and also we had the STAR test come in. Remember, there was a time when 4th grade and only 8th grade in the end of course did writing. Well, then every ELA test included writing. So there were some changes to our testing, and as we know, during this time between 2019 and 2021, it was very difficult to monitor because they didn't have state accountability come out due to COVID. So there were some things that caused a lot of districts to just really look back and analyze, like, where are we? And so as I want to just tell you, we clearly, you can see we're not really where we want to or need to be. Many districts, almost the entire state of Texas, took a step back during this time frame. And so we want to think about where we are with our progress. So some of the things we've put in place to make sure that we are going to be on track and that we're looking towards our future goals is we were sharing with you the TXRL, the literacy initiative, and that partnership that we have with the Moody Foundation, and moving our literature and our instruction to a structure-based literacy. And so that's one of the things that we're doing. And looking towards how students will perform on STAR test and beyond. The second goal, that again, just revisiting this quickly, is our early mathematics proficiency. And the same as I was telling you, you're seeing the data here. We're not where we want to be. As you can see, our target was 65%, and it was 52%. And so again, that's at the meets expectations. We had many more students hit approaches, but that's at the meets. And so we do recognize that early mathematics is certainly a focus. So a couple of things we're looking at for progress measures, as well as to increase our mathematics achievement. We had the Strong Foundations information where we created a mathematics framework, and we really worked on moving to the research-based instructional strategies, where Students were doing conceptual work, they were doing productive struggle, and really making sure we were being very structured with our mathematics instruction. We've also recently, I want to make sure you know that we were also recently awarded a grant from TEA, and it's called the LASSO grant. And it moved from Strong Foundations, we call it now the LIFT, L-I-F-T. And so that is a tremendous grant that's going to help us to have a partnership and to implement our new math curriculum that we will be coming again to you to talk about for this high quality instructional material for our students. We know this is the right work to increase our mathematics instruction. The third goal, just to revisit this one from 2021 to 2025, was our CCMR goal. And as you can tell, we're very proud that our students achieved, we did indeed go from the actual percentage of 48% in 2021 to 2025 at 78% of our students. So we exceeded that target, and so we are very excited about that, but we're not ever going to stop and be complacent. So we want to think about what we need to do to continue pushing that. As Cade said, we have the schools that we visit that are really achieving great things, and we want to look at how we can always get better for our students. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and now move to just these updates for 2026 to 2030. As you know, we're going to have additional changes to our assessment. Our STAR assessment will move, not next year, but the following year, to a beginning, middle, and end of year assessment. So that's going to be very different for us. So we're keeping that in mind, as well as we're looking at some interim and long-range targets for the state and the federal government that we're required to hit for different accountability, just all students, but also for all of our student groups, and looking at how that is. And I know this probably won't surprise you, but there are different targets for different groups, and also there's different targets for different schools, depending on, yes, where they fit in. So we certainly are keeping all of that in mind when we're setting these goals. Again, we have to look at that 60 by 30 that's required by the state. And so we know that also something I wanted to address with you is our CCMR. As we said, it changed before, and now it's going to change again. You've probably heard, many of you, College Bridge is like a curriculum that was set up, and it was standardized to be, we felt like that was going to have people to be college ready, our students to be college ready. Well, we're no longer allowed to use that, is what we're hearing. And so the TSI, the Texas Success Initiative, is going to be an assessment, and Dr. Griffin addressed that. That our students are going to be required to. That's going to be one of the first requirements. So, and then there will be some other things. But really, though we know we exceeded that progress, we're going to keep looking at setting some new goals for that. Just you could take a look as I went over those former goals, but what's going to be recommended is that, and we really wanted to put this clause at the very beginning of it all, at minimum, because we're always looking to achieve higher. But at minimum, the new literacy goal will be the percent of third grade students who score meets or above on STAR reading will increase from 56%, which was what we did in 2025, to 70% or higher by 2030. As far as early math goals, you see the former, and then at minimum, for the recommended, we would like the percent of third grade students that score meets or above on STAR math to increase from 52% to 70%. Very similar goals. Again, that's that proficiency level that we're looking at. And then 26, 2030 CCMR outcome goal would be, at minimum, the percentage of graduates that meet the criteria for CCMR as measured by our accountability system, and we thought that was very important to say, will increase from 78% to 93%. And we feel like, yes, that seems like a very high goal, but we do believe we're going to continue to work on it. I want to remind you all, I need to say this too, our CCMR is called a trailing indicator, and so what happened in 2025 will impact us in 2026 accountability. So we really always have to remember that part. Question? So, for the CCMR, okay, we did. Yeah, I think there were some changes. Kay, do you want to?
So I'll tell you that 78 is not correct.
Okay.
It was an 87.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Went up to.
Well, that helps. Yes. Okay, I'm so glad. You want to come up here just real quick? Yeah, thank you. we talked
So
about
the
this,
number
right?
was actually an 87 in 2025,
Okay. We will get
not a
that.
78.
Okay. Thanks, Kate.
Absolutely.
That's helpful. Thank you for coming up here. Yes, please. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. I'm glad you asked that question. As far as progress measures, these are instruments that we will use to measure progress. And as we know, we can't just measure progress at the end. We need to be measuring it all along so that we can make shifts and changes as needed with our teachers and just really leading that. So here in kindergarten, they have been using this, but it's called Circle K or Circle Progress Measure Monitoring. And so they use a system that's very comprehensive for math and RLA. And so they'll continue using that. To track that proficiency. And we do have a new instrument for first and second grade. We used to use iStation, and iStation became a Mira. And this is a system that really helps students. They talk into a microphone a lot. You can listen to the students reading. And so it's got some components that are in real time helping us to make some instructional decisions. And that is new for us this year. For early mathematics to progress, to measure and just really see how our students are doing, same things for Circle K progress for the kindergarten. And then for grades 1 and 2, we're going to be using the MAP test. Many districts use this. It's a standardized nationwide test, and it measures our students who took it that are in their age group and took it at the same time. So we can measure our students throughout the nation. Yes, that is correct. We have been using it. Yes. And we'll continue to use that. As far as our college career military readiness progress measures, just noting these percentages for meets and masters grade level performance on these instruments. So grades 6, 7, and 8 will be STAR reading and math. And then in 9th grade, we'll have the end of course exam, as we have, the Algebra 1 and English 1. And then in grades 10 through 12, we'll have a variety of tests for RLA and math, which, as we're very familiar with these, the SAT, the ACT. You may not be as familiar with the TSIA, but that is a readiness indicator as well. And then in 10th through 12th grade, we will have the industry-based certifications, the IBCs, and then their CTE course sequence that Dr. Griffin mentioned. And those are the ways we will progress monitor our CCMR data. That is all I have for you. Do you have questions about House Bill 3?
Can I have a random? This is a really random question, but it talks about House Bill 3 requires boards to adopt these detailed plans and to help achieve our goals, which obviously is very important. But like, I've always wondered what if we had overachieved, what happens? Do we any kind of special recognition, or conversely, if we don't hit our goals, from the state's perspective, what happens?
That's a great question. No, unfortunately not. I think they just allow us to celebrate and set higher goals.
Celebrate ourselves.
Yes,
when we do
we
it.
certainly
We're living with a toddler, so we're in the consequence and praising phase. Everything has to be if you do good, you're gonna get this. If you don't,
I know. Yeah, and as far as the consequence, it's that we would need to continue to put some plans in place for additional progress monitoring, additional intervention strategies on our own, which we absolutely do when needed. And so we just continue to do that.
And the other part of that about President Martin is, Angie alluded to it earlier, I've been doing this for a while now. It's a moving target.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before 5 years are up, they will already have given us some more things that we need to do. And so I don't think they allow anything to sit long enough for us to see how we really punch it through. And so it's continuous improvement cycle is really what it is.
That's exactly right.
That's what we used to call it long time ago, but it's just trying to continually improve.
Which I just have to praise y'all in general. I think that even without requirements like this, I know that y'all are constantly looking for ways to improve our student outcomes in general. We don't need them to tell us that, but they need to tell us that. So I do appreciate all the hard work that goes into trying to find the things that fit our students' needs, and then moving with that target and trying to just adjust for them,
right?
Not just because they tell us to.
That's thank you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, thank y'all so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, guys, we'll go to item 8, consent agenda. A, determine and approve any consent agenda items. B, approve board meeting minutes. 1, regular board meeting minutes, January 13th, 2026. C, receive principals reports. 1, Early Childhood Center. 2, Bayshore Elementary. 3, College Park Elementary. 4, Heritage Elementary. 5, Jenny Reed Elementary. 6, LaPorte Elementary. 7, Leo A. Rizzuto Elementary. 8, Lomax Elementary. 9, James H. Baker 6th grade campus. 10, LaPorte Junior High. 11, Lomax Junior High. 12, LaPorte High School. 13, Viola DeWalt High School. D, receive financial reports for December 2025. E, receive human resources report. F, receive quarterly investment report. G, approve annual financial audit engagement letter for year ending June 30th, 2026. H, approve budget amendment. I, approve proposal and purchase of property insurance coverage. J, approve purchase of special education contracted services. K, adopt a resolution number 2026-02 to compensate employees for missed workday due to winter storm weather. And L, consider and take possible action on statutory resolution relating to Senate Bill 11. Vice President, will you please read back the items as read? Actually, we had some questions on the kind of legality of the wording. Do you guys want to pull that, or are you okay with leaving the consent? Okay. So, Mr. Vice President.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. All right. Board, I see a motion for consent items A through L as read. We have a motion by Trustee Hanks and a second by Trustee Thompson. Please vote. All right, unanimous approval. Thank you, guys. We'll move now to item 9, action on closed session items. We have none. Item 10, closing comments of the Board of Trustees and Superintendent. A, attendance at recent district and community events. B, announcement of upcoming district and community events. Or C, outstanding performance. District staff and students. I believe, Trustee Shafi, it's your turn tonight. Go first.
Well, the musical has always been birthday date night for me and my wife, and it was a week earlier this time, and I spent a lot more money taking her to Disney World on her actual birthday, but the musical was fabulous. Tevye, I texted her, he was on spot, he was good, just enjoyed it thoroughly. Can't say anything better about it. Of course, everybody else is going to say their bit about it too, but it was musical was great. That's all I have to say.
You're right, Russell. Yeah, musical was fantastic, and again, I just sing its praises because of the collaboration and the diversity that's included in that representation is just amazing, and it's really fun to watch people that have never seen it before experience it for the first time. It's different than most high school musicals for sure, but what a wonderful tradition. I'm really fascinated by the 5x5 and our reports that we heard tonight. I feel like there's a lot of good coming and continues to see things kind of flourish. So kudos to everybody involved in that. Spring sports have kicked off. They're everywhere and anywhere. Basketball, softball, baseball, tennis. We've got some very, very talented young people representing the community. So get out and support them.
So I did get to attend the expo at LPE, and everybody did a fantastic job. That was such a blessing to be able to go and witness that. I wish that everybody could be in the classrooms with their students and see just how well, not only how well they're implementing things, but how well the students are following through and doing, knowing what to do on it. So it's really awesome to see that, and I know it's going to do a tremendous just good for all of them. I also wanted to say thank you for allowing us tonight for the Education Foundation to come in and present the grants to the teachers for their mini grants. It's a blessing to be able to do that. This time of year, hopefully it's a little pick-me-up for some of them, but the students are the ones who get to benefit from that. We're going to hopefully see a lot of great things that they can put in place before testing and everything else. So again, thank you for sharing that time with us today. You know, it takes a long time to do that many, but 43 grants, that's pretty awesome. So, and just again, the student sports, we have a lot of different things going on right now. Soccer, track and field, baseball starting up, softball. I saw swim. I mean, I'm just seeing all the things come across, and I'm just trying to keep track. I'm like, okay, this calendar's getting full fast. So, going to try to make it to as much as possible, but no, my heart's there. So, everybody, just enjoy your rest of your week.
Okay.
And of course, the musical was wonderful. I want to say a huge thank you on behalf of Rodney and Tim, who work up in the booth, for listening to them and implementing their ideas, because while we haven't got all the lights up yet, the sound was remarkable this year. Having the big monitors in the lobby was wonderful for the people that had crying babies or whatever. And the last night, we had about 6 or 8 people that we could not sell tickets to. We were simply out of room, and so they sat on the nice new benches and watched the video. So that was really, really nice. And we've been talking about spring sports, but we have not mentioned our bass fishing team. They are out, they competed this past weekend, and while they didn't win, you know, fishing, they call it fishing and not catching for a reason, but they caught. But you know, it's one of these things where they finished right in the middle, so they were competitive. And I just think it's so neat that we have that opportunity for our kids to be able to do something like that, because so I think it's such a great hobby. It's lifelong. Yeah, it's a lifelong hobby, and it's something, you know, great that these kids can do and take with them for the rest of their lives. So I thought that was really neat to see.
Because, you know, I'm getting old and forgetful sometimes. No one laughed. I want to congratulate our decathlon team that is going to state. Just to watch the growth in that over the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years has been remarkable. And having volunteered as a judge for that one time, those kids really are learning life skills that are going to help them for the rest of their life. So there's lots of spring activities going on for anybody that wants to participate or see anything. There's an interest for all of us. I want to give kudos to the Early Childhood Center. Years ago, when the board had this dream of having this as something that would help our teachers, something that would help our families and our communities, and there were some masterminds behind this, one of them who is sitting in the room right now. And I just want to say, when I look at these numbers on these reports, I'm sure your principals thinks we don't look at these things, but we do. When I look at these and I see, you know, the number of our staff members that are utilizing that, it just does my heart so proud that the board had a vision back then that would, you know, add something to our staff members' lives. And in fact, those children, as they are being prepared for when they become a bulldog themselves. I'm looking forward to the spelling bee tomorrow, because I was a spelling bee winner when I was a kid, so I want to come see how much more difficult it is now. I'm sure it's harder. And I want to say kudos to the Jenny Reed kids who performed tonight, because that was awesome.
That was great.
I mean, you can't start off wrong when you sing Deep in the Heart of Texas at your meeting, right? You know it's going to be good.
With ukulele.
Yeah, with the ukulele. That was awesome. That's all I have.
I've got nothing.
Nothing.
Great job, everybody. Y'all said everything.
Man, I agree. I would say, so I just found this a little while ago. It says, hopefully everyone has forgotten their New Year's resolutions now because there's a chocolate pie for you in the refrigerator. So you're welcome board. Last month I kind of pitched a joking fit about how we didn't get any pies from the nutrition department. So nutrition team, again, I didn't mean to guilt you into it, but I also am not going to not take the pie. So thank you for that. We really do appreciate it, Ralph and your team, guys. Seriously. I mean, if you guys don't eat chocolate pie, Mason, or whoever, I will take that pie. So it won't go to waste. And of course, ditto, the musical is something that my family has gone through. I'm 44. I think I've gone since I was 8 or 9. Or maybe before that. So it certainly didn't disappoint. I'm just excited. We hear a lot of positive things. Dr. Jackson is gotten some special accolades, and he's out there promoting the district and doing some really great things. There's a lot of positive buzz, as we said before, around LaPorte ISD. So I'm really excited about that. We got a lot of things going on. I sat through a meeting today, and I want to put this, speak it into existence. So, the Chamber of Commerce gets to put on the Sylvan Beach Festival. This is our 70th anniversary. The school district is one of our presenting sponsors. We do a lot of stuff with the district. One of the things we're most proud of is that we were able to, in addition to the scholarship pageant that Melissa and her sister helped run for us, we do outstanding students. And so we've been doing that. We're inviting these kids to come up on the stage the day of in front of their peers and their family. I've convinced my board, we want to go, we've been meeting a lot with CTE, Dr. Baker. There's a lot of opportunity to kind of pour back into CTE. So we're going to go find some sponsors for different programs. We're going to figure out what those may be, maybe robotics or welding or whatever it is, and hopefully some larger donations. And we're going to honor these plants or the people that probably will help with this in front of Sylvan Beach. But our goal is to really help get some of our corporate partners, our members and LaPorte Chamber to be able to pour back even more into our CTE. So we're excited for that. Dr. Jackson, would you like to say anything?
Thank you all for everything.
Okay. With that,